What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD Mobile video. So Season 6 public beta test server has been released for a few hours at this point, and I thought I'd give my first impressions, my thought on how Season 6 update might pan out. I will tell you this right now, in terms of server connections, it is not really that great. I mean, I'm getting like maybe 80 to 100 ping per game. There will be a few rare instances where I actually get like maybe 40 games. I mean, sorry, not 40 games, 40 ping, but it's a very, very rare situation. And specifically, since I'm on controller, I'm only getting matched with people on controller. So it's a very, very small amount considering the fact that the test servers have a relatively small amount of players. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But what are my actual opinions on the features that are presented within Season 6? What's new? What's interesting, like what sets this version apart from the rest? Well, really, this one doesn't really contain a lot of, I guess, weapon patches. There's not really a lot. The only real patch I've noticed was the AK-47. I did test out that weapon for a little bit, and I did notice that it has a considerably less amount of recoil, like almost to the point where it's pretty much a laser. I don't know if it's just here or maybe they just haven't actually tuned it correctly. But yeah, that's something that I've noticed with the AK-47. It's really, really stable at this point. So yes, like I said, this update doesn't really have a lot of weapon fixes or any like weapon patches in it. It's just more of like actual like quality of life improvements. One of the biggest ones, and by far for the touch players, is the fact that you can have more than one layout now. So if you ever want to change your layout and let's say you're not satisfied with it, you could always save the old one and use it for later. It's a pretty cool feature, and you could actually share it with people online. I mean, like they give you like some sort of code and you could share that code with someone else and they could pretty much get your exact layout. I think that's a pretty cool feature. They also have the option to disable effects or animations on certain legendary weapons. So for example, if you have a very low-end device and you have a mythic weapon, you could always turn off the reactive effects or even the kill effects and just make it out to be a normal weapon. I think that's a pretty cool feature for everyone that may not have the most recent devices. So like if you have like let's say an iPhone 7 or maybe an iPhone 8 or an older iPad or something like that, that could definitely be useful to stop lag whenever you're actually playing the game. Another cool feature that they added was also the hit effect. So sometimes, if you're playing the game as normal, you can notice that blood will come out of the enemy like as you're shooting them, as you're killing them, just like what you're seeing right now. But now they give you an option to actually use like different other different hit effects where it could be like little sparkles or like whatever the case may be. A lot of people are kind of misinterpreting this as a death effect. It's not a death effect. It's just a simple hit effect. If you want to change it, make it look more dynamic, it's cool. But nonetheless, it's not a death effect. I know a lot of creators out there who are playtesting this are trying to clickbait people like that. It's not a death effect. I'm just clearing that up. Really, what I can say in this situation, they're kind of like tracer rounds, like customizable tracer rounds. But other than that, it's nothing really significant. Other effects include whenever you get hit, there's always an alert where it tells you where your shots came from. Now you could actually change the color of it. Instead of it being red as always, you could always change it to yellow, green, or like just a various assortment of colors. They also changed the field of view, so now the maximum is 90 instead of 75, meaning that you could see a lot more than before. I don't know if it depends on what device you're using. If you have an iPad Pro, you are able to actually put it to 90, but I'm sure if you have like a phone or something, maybe it's a little bit less, maybe like 60, 75, 80, I don't know. Or maybe it's just the same across all devices. I don't know that. I haven't really tested that. But yeah, FOV slider's been buffed, so just a heads up. One of the best changes that they made to the gunsmith for this update was the fact that they now have an attributes section for your weapons. So it'll tell you pretty much overall how much ADS bullet spread accuracy or how much stability or how much range you lost across all attachments. It's you don't have to check individually now. You don't have to like make calculations. The game pretty much does it for you at this point. It's pretty much showing you a grand total of what you've gained and what you lost in terms of weapon stats. Also, probably one of the best features that they added into this game is the fact that if you do use a maxed out weapon in a match and you finish that match, you are able to earn XP cards. How this works is that whatever amount of points that you earn with that specific weapon, it'll convert it to a set of XP cards. So it'll give you some blue XP cards, it'll give you some purple, and it'll give you some green. It all really depends on how many points that you earn or how many kills that you get. So for example, let's say you get 50 kills in one game with a sniper or an assault rifle or something like that. It will convert it into, I guess, like 10 purple XP cards, which is pretty cool. I do have to say this specific feature is going to help us in the long run because there are not a lot of ways to earn XP cards nowadays. I mean, really, you send 10 XP cards per day, maybe you get like 8 in return. Yeah, there's not really a lot of ways. You could do daily challenges, but you only get 2 out of it. And there are other extra challenges that you can do that give you XP cards, but it does take a while to earn. And also you could pay for more of those XP cards with COD points or credits, but they are kind of expensive. So yeah, this is a pretty nice way to reward us for, you know, pretty much our, I guess, hard work in a match. And the reason why this helps in the long run is because whenever a new weapon does come out in the future, we can max it out instantly. We don't have to like start from scratch and work our way up all the way to like level 55 of the weapon. So I think that's probably the best reason to have a feature like this. So we could end up getting gold or Damascus immediately instead of having to wait such a long time. And based on how much we play, I know this is going to be very helpful to us because I mean, we're going to end up making like thousands of these things. I mean, enough to like still have a plenty left over after maxing out a weapon that may come in the future. So yeah, overall, a lot of user interface changes that can pretty much benefit us in the future. Anyways, the additions when it comes to like lethals, tacticals, perks, and score streaks, not a lot going on. Well, the tactical one is probably the most interesting to me. That one, it's called like I think it's like it's called a shield grenade. It doesn't protect you from bullet damage, but it kind of blocks an enemy's view on a certain thing. So like, let's say for example, you're trying to capture B in shipment, right? You could actually throw that grenade and have this whole sphere come out, and it pretty much blocks your view. Like you don't know what's actually in that circle. So it provides an advantage for your team because you could actually be prepared, and the only way that they could see you is if they actually go inside into the sphere themselves. And I don't know if this actually blocks bullets, but yeah, it basically blocks their view of you. They're not going to know where you're at, or they're not going to know what you're going to do in that unless they go inside themselves. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know if it's going to break the game. I don't know if it's going to be something that not a lot of people use. I don't know. This is something that is purely experimental, and we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there. When it comes to the perks, they only really added one, which was of course the Martyrdom perk. So the way this works, I'm sure a lot of you guys know what that perk is. You basically drop a grenade upon death. So this is kind of like a cheap and pretty annoying method to like take people out with you. So let's say someone kills you and you know that you have the perk on, you drop a grenade, it could kill them. Of course, knowing how effective grenades are in this game, that's not saying much. I mean, the grenades in this game are kind of trash. That's why people use thermites or they use Molotovs. They don't really have a huge blast radius. So I feel like this is something that's not going to be used a lot because, I mean, people like lightweight, people use shrapnel or whatever the hell it is. You know, they use extra lethal or whatever the red perks are. So I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be a perk that really a lot of people use. Maybe in shipment, but that's pretty much it. Because like I said, grenades don't have a huge blast zone in this game, and you could escape them relatively quickly. They also added a new score streak called the Swarm. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of this if you did play Black Ops 2. It was a pretty high tier score streak. Well, not high tier as in like it was good, but more like it took a lot of points to earn. This basically involves like multiple hunter killer drones going after the enemy team all at once. As of right now, I did test it, and it's not really that good. I only got like 2 kills. I usually get like an average of 1 or 2. Sometimes I don't even get kills at all with it. So I don't know if it's like still early into to development, or they just haven't tuned it correctly, or they're just trying to figure out a way to balance it out. So I don't know how it's going to turn out at the end of all this. They also added a new operator skill, which is called the dynamic armor. So the way this works, it pretty much reduces bullet damage towards yourself. Yeah, it seems overpowered in paper. This could actually save you in certain gunfights, and you know, if you are a really skilled player and you know you're going to be in a situation where you might get double teamed or even triple teamed, this can actually help you in these gunfights. It's pretty amazing, but don't worry, it's not as broken as you think because it only lasts like maybe a few seconds. One last feature that they added, and this does have to do with completionist camos, is the fact that Diamond now affects attachment skin. So if you want to put like, let's say, a monolithic suppressor on your weapon, or even a red dot sight, and you have diamond camo on, it will become solid gold instead of just, you know, having its default attachment skin. So just in case you guys don't know what I mean, here is an example. So typically whenever you use the scope on the SPR, whether you have a diamond or not, it's gonna have just the basic I guess attachment skin, you know, just a black scope. But now they made it so that, you know, whatever scope you put on, or whatever attachment you put on, even the laser on the side, it turns into solid gold. So anyways, that's pretty much going to cover. I just wanted to give you guys my final thoughts. Me personally, I really like the update. It's something I'm really looking forward to. And we needed a change like this because we've had the same menus for quite a long time. We've had the same gold camo. We've had the same platinum camo for a long time. And not to say that they aren't really as good as they are right now. And I swear to God, my cat, stop fucking around. So yeah, like what I'm saying is that it's not that they're not good right now, but yeah, they kind of did need adjustments. And it's nice that they finally got their changes, especially for Platinum, because I mean, like throughout this whole entire time, ever since season 9 where it first came out, it's looked like shit. Let's be honest. I mean, like Gold's probably the best non-diamond completionist camo in this game, even beyond Damascus. I will say this, there is a major complaint when it comes to this test server and all the other past test servers, and the ones that may come in the future. And it's the fact that they keep fucking locking all these weapons behind challenges. Look, I know the purpose of the test server is to give feedback on the changes that you guys are making to this game. So why the fuck do you lock everything behind challenges? Like, you know, when it comes to Gold, Platinum, Damascus, when it comes to the newer weapons, why do you keep locking these behind headshot challenges? Especially in a server that has very high latency. Look, it takes quite a while to get 30 headshots, especially when you're going against wallhack bots who can just laser you like nothing on a fucking 100 ping server. Like, yeah, it's kind of fucking frustrating, like, just to say the least. And, you know, like, when it comes to completionist camos, you should also give us access to all of it. I mean, if you change them in a dramatic way and you want fucking feedback for all of it, how are we supposed to do that if they're all locked behind challenges? And, dude, trust me, we don't have enough time to unlock platinum or diamond on every single weapon, like, before this test server ends. That's just too much work. Just give us access to everything so we could actually give you feedback. Look, I love playtesting public test servers as much as the next guy, but you guys have to stop giving us these inconveniences when we're testing this shit, man. Like, I mean, you change all this stuff and like sometimes we don't even have access to it. We have to like fucking grind for it, which is fucking pointless in a beta server or something like that, you know? Like, you have to stop doing that because it's... Like, I hate, like, that's the one thing I do hate about test servers. Every single time I have to do that stupid tutorial. Like, why don't you just let us give us the option to skip that? So we could just get down to business, see what's wrong, and then we could give you feedback. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say on this subject. Like I said, just remove those inconveniences so we could just get straight down to business. Stop making us do all this shit. Like, just to have access to all the weapons. That should already be available from the start, including the completionist camos. This could actually serve as a detriment in the long run. You know, when it gets released to the general public, there might be stuff that people don't like, and that's mainly because we didn't have a chance to test it. You know, for example, when it came to when it came to having Diamond Camo released in the test server for Season 13, we didn't really get to see it unless we grinded for it. I mean, the thing is that you should have given us access to that in the first place. We could have given you some feedback. I mean, there was no real negative feedback. I mean, the Diamond Camo, even as of right now, is pretty cool. But I mean, even at the same season, you changed Damascus, making it shittier. You didn't let us test it in game to see how it really looks, so we could give you feedback, and you could have adjusted it way early on instead of having us wait like 3 seasons for you to change it. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give a review for all this shit. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like. Make sure to subscribe for some more COD Mobile content. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.